Hello everyone, Nadeem here with PCSN. So today I'm going to talk about something that has come up from time to time. How do you decide whether you should deploy remote desktop infrastructure or WVD infrastructure? There are a few reasons and use cases for either option. I'm going to share my screen right here. So there are some big things. So first of all, let me say this. Remote desktop services has been there since back in Windows, I believe 3.1 days, many years ago. I mean, actually more than a couple of decades probably. So it's a very mature, proven solution. It works well. It doesn't do everything, but what it does well. Enterprises have deployed it. There are like millions of people in RDS infrastructure. So if RDS infrastructure is so good, RDS is remote desktop services for those who don't know, then why did Microsoft come up with Windows Virtual Desktop, or for partners, it's Azure Virtual Desktop? You know, if you have a requirement for more control over your environment, RDS is the way to go. You have full ownership. You have more control. You can basically do whatever you want, make the system do whatever you want. On the other hand, the problem is in today's world, we have applications like Zoom, Microsoft Teams. People are calling from their computers more. And in those situations, RDS does not work very well. So for real-time communication, RDS does not work very well. And that was the big push why Microsoft came up with Windows Virtual Desktop or Azure Virtual Desktop. So basically, management is just one thing, right? So users don't get a lot of control over the environment. Microsoft manages a lot of this stuff, but on the back end, it's Windows 10 or Windows 11 as the operating system. So pretty much any of your apps, the look and feel is just like any Windows workstation. The other thing, the good thing is, with Windows Virtual Desktop, you can actually tune Microsoft Teams to where people actually have a good experience in Microsoft Teams. So even though it's newer technology, it's not as proven as remote desktop infrastructure, remote desktop services, in short, we call it RDS. But it does allow you to have real-time communication. You can have video calls in Teams or Zoom, and it works well. When figuring out which infrastructure to go with, you have to kind of take into account what your workload is going to be like. If it's more traditional applications and your enterprise needs full control of the environment, RDS. If you have a requirement for where you have to use Teams in the remote environment, maybe you have just Windows terminals, you don't have full-fledged machines or workstations, so you can't run Teams locally, then maybe WVD or Azure Virtual Desktop might be the way to go. And the way it does this, something unique. Why now, and how is it able to do that? Why is Windows Virtual Desktop able to do this? So, without getting very technical, the way it does this is it simply connects the source and the target where the video conference is happening, creates a direct connection between them. So there is no encoding and decoding happening on the server where your session is running, and then again on your client. It's just done on your client. The server is just the go-between. So, and that's what really makes remote desktop services kind of suffer when it comes to Teams or any kind of real-time video calls or real-time traffic, is the encoding and decoding has to happen twice, once on the workstation, once on the server. Well, now with something called WebRTC, it's a new standard, that doesn't need to happen. Basically, the client machine, the terminal, the Windows terminal, will get connected directly, and there's only one conversion happening. There's not the two conversions. So that makes the experience a lot better. It's not kind of jittery or like blocky, or it's just like you have Teams running on your local machine. But if you need the hard traditional apps that run all the time, every time, proven architecture, you don't want to run into any kind of issues like with compatibility or things like that, or you don't want to get into creating custom images for WVD or Azure VD, then just go with RDS, Remote Desktop Services. It's been around for probably 20 years now. Proven technology. Hopefully that helps people out. And if you have more questions, feel free to reach out, hit that like button, subscribe, and we release about a couple of 2-3 videos a week. So if you subscribe, you'll be notified. Have a great day.